All right, I greet you in peace and in love and in respect and in harmony and in understanding and understanding and overstanding. I would like to say thank you to everybody that is viewing, in that this is a divine appointment and you're supposed to be here. So with that being said, I want to talk to you about some things that have been going through my head about the recent election and about things to come and all of that. The first thing is, don't panic. There's no reason to panic, so don't panic. The first thing is and so I thought about something that one of my mentors used to always say, and it said, what? Be spiritually the same, equally spiritually the same. Don't change anything, especially if you're spiritual, because this is spiritual warfare. It has nothing to do like the things, the people, or the manifestation of certain things that are involved. So it's like the one side represents everything that's bad, but they say it's good, and the other side represents everything that's good, but they say it's bad. So the hypocrisy that's out there in the world is real. So there's a lot of cognitive dissonance. So this is what I've been meditating and praying a lot, and so this is what Spirit told me. And so I'm going to say some things, and basically it came through just paying attention to people. Now, the first thing is like, despite whatever, the solution to everything is inside. There's no outward solution or anything like that. The solution is inside, and the solution is spiritual. Remember, the person that's so-called won, they only won by 4 million votes. And those 4 million votes, it's not a lot. And it's not that popular. Now here's the religious part. And the religious part is that the reason why he won is because of misogyny and the reliance on the patriarchal system, and the fact that the feminine energy, and I'm a priest, so I'm telling you from a spiritual standpoint, this is not worldly stuff, but they have been trying to remove the feminine energy away from everything for a long time, for thousands of years. And so right now, what's happening, at least psychologically with most people, is that spirit is slowly changing. And because it's changing, people are looking for the feminine energy. They're looking for nurturing, and they're looking for, somebody to kind of take care of them or whatever, right? So that's what's going on right now. And the return of this feminine energy, because remember, everything, what goes up got to come down. These are universal laws. Balance and karma and all of that dictate that what's happening is going to happen, because you can't stay on one side of the pendulum and not have it eventually swing back the other way. And what we're witnessing is a swing back the other way. Whether you agree or disagree with me or not, that's in the spiritual realm. That is what is going on, and the earth is literally changing and crying out. And the indigenous the reaction to what happened, and the misogyny was ingrained in us through religion. And so that's why one of the things that the eventual powers that want to be don't want, think about all of the things that they don't want you to have, or they don't want you to do. They don't want you to organize. They don't want you to vote. They don't want you to have education. They don't want you to have health care. They don't want you to be, so they don't want you to be healthy. You know, so all of those things in most of the mystic, the mystery systems, even the mythology systems, none of that existed. So when you look and you start to think like, okay, everything was about the mother. Earth is our mother. The sun. So we're saying the sun is our father. And, you know, and that's all we're saying. We're not saying, but people call us mean and evil, or they call us evil and all this kind of stuff. We're not evil at all. As a matter of fact, we're praying for peace. And we're praying for harmony and understanding and love, because we know that that's the only way that all of this stuff will work out in the end. In the final analysis, everybody, no matter what your skin color, we're all a part of the human race. We're whether we are of this planet or not, we're here, and we got to learn how to stay here together. And the viable alternative, all of the fear mongering and all of that things, you cannot live in fear. That's not a good thing, because fear and guilt and apprehension and all of those feelings, they make you sick. That's what makes you ill. That's what makes you ill. That's what gives you dis-ease. That's why it's called dis-ease. You're not at ease. And part of trying to get at ease is to go inside. See, because if you go inside, and then I was just talking about the negative confessions, because what do? They negate your negative behavior. So as opposed to just sitting up there saying, oh, I could say some prayer over you, you know, and you accept some fictitious guy out of a book as your Savior and Lord, but unless you have the intestinal fortitude and the ability and the patience and everything else to be able to change yourself, then you have to put that change into the universe. The change that you want to make, or the change that you want to be, you got to put it into the universe. And you don't have to do it. And the same thing with confession. Like, the church used confession in order to get money out of people. So y'all think that you went into the confessional and that the priest didn't go back and tell? Confession is good for the soul, but it's your own self-confession. So if you know you're an alcoholic, keep confession to yourself, right? I have not taken a drink today. I am not an alcoholic. And if you say that, and I'm telling you, if you say that every day for 21 days, 9 times a day, you won't be an alcoholic. Why? Because the neuroreceptors, you are energy. The neuroreceptors, and you are a conduit for electromagnetic energy. I should have said magic, but it's electromagnetic. That's what I meant. That's the word I meant. But you are a conduit for electromagnetic energy. So your chakras, and so that's why I'm always, everybody's, oh, but your chakras, and when your chakras don't function, and why don't your chakras function? Because once again, there's only 2 things holding you to this rock. That's your breath and your blood. That's it. Other than that, they not. So, and I can prove it to you. Like I told myself, it's like when you go to the hospital, what's the first two things, or when the ambulance get there, what's the first two things they check? Whether you breathing or whether you bleed. First two things they check. Why? Because no breath, no life. No blood, no life. So those are where that's where your energy and your power come from. And so all of that, and I'm not gonna go into all of that, but the bottom line is, so how do we make it through all of this? And the first thing is, do everything that they have told you not to do. So vote, organize, strategize, monetize, and do work and go to work. How do you think the master builders built things without money? Because they didn't have money. So how do you think they built things without money? There was no money. In antiquity, in ancient times, no money, but they built some of the most spectacular structures ever built and known to mankind. And they still exist to this day. So how did they, and no one can explain how they did it. But they were the true masters. They were the master builders. Your ancestors. So understand who and what you are. And then if you got anything that you need to fix, go inside and fix it and use the negative confessions in order to fix what it is you want to fix. And it has to be something you want to fix. If you want to fix it, you can fix it. Anything. I'm living proof of that. I'm serious. I'm 100%, I'm a witness. But you got to put in the work. You have got to put in the work. But anything that, if you truly want to change anything, you can change it. Everything in the spiritual realm, everything is possible. And if it starts off in the spiritual, it can manifest itself in the natural world. Period. And here's another broken clock. All the promises of God, G-O-D, are yes and amen. Anything, all your needs, wants, desires, and that's the other thing we got to stop. There's plenty. Stop. The fear mongering is based on somebody else is going to get something better than me, or da-da-da. That's Cain and Abel. Oh, his offering was better than my offering. Or they're doing something that we don't like, or we're judging them based on just idiotic stuff that don't even make sense. That doesn't even really matter at all. And we're making lifetime decisions based on temporary circumstances. And what's going on right now, I guarantee you, it's a temporary circumstance. So stay evenly, consistently the same spiritually. Don't change that. Keep meditating, keep praying, keep doing what you're doing, but be specific about what you ask for, and don't make it materialistic or egotistical. The next thing, treat yourself with kid gloves. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Treat yourself. And I'm not talking about being selfish, because that's a different level. But self-control, self-awareness, just being able to be introspective of oneself, and being able and learn how to be alone with yourself and love yourself. And if you do that, there will never be there's not going to be any conflict or anything like that, with the universe. See, because that's how you eliminate it, because everything in the world is designed to push you down into your lower chakra, and very little is designed to bring you up to your crown chakra. Religion, a lot of religions do tell you about your chakras and about your crown chakra and all of that, but very few, especially the ones that are in the Western world, teach you that. If you really want to help your kids and everything, teach them how to meditate. Teach them how to pray. Don't teach them what to pray, but teach them how to, so that the things that they have inside of their soul, because see, once you read, that's what the whole thing about the age of accountability, because there's always, the spirit is always like someone who has a passion and somebody that is motivated by their purpose. They're going to always be moving. There's always going to be activity. There's going to be action. There's going to be motion, because that's just the way they're wired. And see, and that's why when you get on accord with the supernatural, with the metaphysical, with all of those different things, then you start becoming the person that you were intended to be. And a lot of people, you feel that from the moment you get here, and then you waste your entire life doing something that is meaningless. And that's part of the spiritual war, especially for people that are star seeds. There are a lot of people walking around that are star seeds and whatever. I have them in my family. They're star seeds. They have a supernatural divine gift, but they come under spiritual attack because they have those gifts. I've come under attack. I know I have. And I was even told, I've been told like the course of my life. And why certain things are going to happen to me, and how they were going to happen to me, and everything. But it was because I chose to follow the path of being a servant. That's why. I do what I do to make a living and stuff like that, but my spirituality and my faith, that's not for sale. That's why I don't post that much. That's why I didn't teach that much. Like I said, if it wasn't for certain people that are around me that I know are like super, super duper spiritual, I stopped doing that a long time ago. Look, I got a YouTube channel. If y'all want to know how I feel spiritually, go on my YouTube channel and y'all can find out. In fact, y'all can see my entire journey, pretty much, because I was making YouTube videos the whole time. And it was just to document my spiritual journey. But like I said, all of the things that I've seen and all of the things that I've been through tell me that this is one of those moments where, see, if what happens and what occurs and what changes is not supernatural, then guess what? Then we won't know that it's the divine, that it's the Most High, that it's the creative energy that created the circumstance, and it's the creative energy that will solve the circumstance. And when I say the creative energy, we have to figure out ways. That's why you have to get into coalition. There's not just one God in a temple. There are multiple gods. There's more than one. Let us make God in our. So I'm just telling you, is it not written that ye are gods? Is it not written? Generator, operator, destroyer. That's taught to me by my master teacher. It's an acronym that was made up. So you have to put all of these different things you have to put into perspective. Yes, you do. But be kind to each other and be kind to yourself and love yourself and love each other. Because that's how you change, because it's energy. Love is energy. The law of attraction, all that. If you know I'm telling the truth. You got a stank attitude, what happens? You get other people with stank attitudes. Birds of a feather, right? Whatever. My grandma used to say that all the time. So you have to watch who you're in company with and all of that kind of stuff. And then you have to keep watch over your thoughts and your emotions and all of that. Because most of the things that are going on, like I said, are designed to either take you to your lower chakra, to your lowest, to the lowest level that they can get. Well, you ever wonder why, like when something like really bad, you get like that thing in your gut, like, or when something is like that, all that is, that's the energy. That's the spirit telling you what to do. But you gotta listen. You gotta get into that, and you gotta listen. But you gotta, before you can get all of that, you gotta go inside. Start listening to yourself, and the things that, because you know what you want to do, you know what you need to change, you know all of that. But don't let the people outside, because all of these things, they're just the embodiment of things that are not within our purview. See, you can't change the misogyny without changing the person. You can't understand the feminine energy until you've studied it and realize, even people that are Catholic, right? They bow down and pray to the Black Madonna. And they do Hail Marys and all of that to venerate the feminine energy. And if you don't, and then we'll go through the whole process once again. The whole process once again is that without the feminine energy, then whatever you're doing is going to be out of balance. Whatever you do is going to be out of balance. So that's why everything seems kind of topsy-turvy. And like what is going on? And how can these numbers hold out? How come in some states everybody voted straight Democratic, but then voted for Donald Trump? And that's the misogyny. That's where it showed up. But they don't. But in their heart of hearts, they don't feel that way. They voted that way out of fear. That they can't go against their religion. Even to the point where some people were questioning, think about the morality. That was my whole argument, is the morality. I'm a man of God. And I have children, and I have grandchildren, and I have brothers and sisters, and I have aunts and uncles, and all of that. I have family that I love dearly. There is no way in the world that I would want to put them in harm's way, or that I would want somebody that was morally reprehensible to represent me. So why should I change? And why should I vote against my best interest when I know that this person, and it's not, and the thing is, and this comes straight from my wife. This is love. My wife. What my wife tell me? My wife said, look, you can say you love me every freaking day, but I'm from Missouri, nigga, show me. I ain't mean to drop an M-bomb, but I cuss, I'm gonna tell you. But You know, and that's the real thing. Like love or whatever you're doing, it is going to show in your fruits and it's going to show in your track record. So you raped a woman, you got 26, all of that stuff. That's what I'm saying is morally reprehensible. That is not of the positive energy. And negative energy and evil energy does exist, but that is not it. So recognize and be cognizant and stop ruling stuff out because of religion. Like I said, the whole thing, we got you. Because they told you that, it was Father, Son, Holy Spirit. How does that produce life? They told you that it was the cross and not the Ankh. They told you that your spiritual practices were evil, but then they used them to take advantage and control over you. But they're evil. But once again, everything in the universe, and once you understand these universal laws, everything in the universe can be used for good or for evil. It's just like, in the way I keep explaining, it's like a thermometer. There, on one end of the thermometer, there's hot, and on the other end of the thermometer, there's cold. And there's all kinds of stuff in between, all kinds of temperatures or whatever in between on that thermometer. And that's all it is. Very simple. Not even that complex. And we are not monolithic as people. That's another thing that, I'm going to talk about that but we're not a monolith. Everybody is not going to think the same. There's 8.2 billion people on the planet. 8.2 billion people on the planet. Everybody is not going to think the same. But spiritually, everybody can be on one accord. There can be kindred spirits. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Those people that didn't vote, they were kindred spirits. But they were afraid of God. They realize that everything is messed up. They know that. Or the ones that weren't afraid of God, they just were egotistical and believe and really have a deep-seated belief in the patriarchy. There's some, there are men like that are out there. But all of those things, and once again, all of those things are the residue, the spiritual residue of chattel slavery and of all of the other heinous atrocities that have been committed against the indigenous people of this land and of just people in general. And that's all it is. And they don't want to give it up. They don't want to work. They want us to work for them. That's why they won't let us go. Every time we start doing something on our own, what do? They try to block it. Anyway, be peaceful. Content of character, not color of skin. And Black people, be loving, caring, and understanding. A solution is not to hate. There's no reason, like this whole thing about movement, about hating white women. Hate those that hate you. And it ain't all, and see, that's the other thing. It ain't all. It was still 50% of them that are on your team. So understand the numbers and understand what they really mean. Anyway, I love you. And I hope you love yourself. As a matter of fact, let's do this before I leave. Look at yourself. Look in the camera or wherever you're watching this, and say your name, Judson Brinkley Powell III. I love you. And look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Say your name. I love you. I don't even know where to turn the camera off, but I love you.